Hey guys, it's me Ray and welcome back to a very long and overdue video from me. I am in bed and I just thought I would just record something very quickly. So if the audio doesn't sound great, I'm sorry, but I manage and just, listen to the content, the context, the content I am providing. It is almost 12 a.m. and I need to be in bed, but don't even mind me. I am in bed, but asleep, you know what I mean? Guys, I have come across some madness that is happening online in regards to, is it James and Fuhad, the two British guys that have a podcast where they tend to, react to things that are taking place on social media. You've probably come across their videos in the past and probably giggled, lol, at some of the things they've shared online. It's not that when they share these things, they're just, what's funny are the comments that they're sharing, not necessarily themselves. So recently hello. No, honey, I'm going to use it later. Yeah, it's fine. My husband has just come in. So you might have seen how, as part of their US tour, you can sit down. You don't have to. I'm not gonna edit this properly. Trust me, honey. I'm serious. No, you might have seen that for their US tour, they were visiting various podcasters. I think as a means to promote their show and just their podcast. And they were on a podcast by a man called, is it Mr. Schnautz? Schnautz? Apologies for my mispronunciation. And then the man on the podcast thought it acceptable to start berating black women.
How do you feel about
it's
Meghan
almost
Markle?
a crunch.
Meghan Markle?
She's
Yeah.
cool, man.
She's cool.
She stole your ginge. How you
Yeah.
feel about that?
I'm here for it, bro.
I'm here for the multicultural.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah,
Black
man.
girlfriend effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Came
You're
in,
into that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Meghan
She
Markle's
came
fine
in.
as
What's the
fuck,
black
so.
girlfriend if they just come in and start fighting?
Nah, bro.
What's the black girlfriend if they just come in and start fighting? Nah, bro.
What is the black girlfriend effect? This is
Oh,
the
you
thing?
don't know
You
about
just
this?
glow up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend, all of a sudden he's got buzz cut, like
Yeah,
clean
he-
shape up.
Nah,
his
I
feet
like
out.
that.
Yeah.
Nah, I
Glows
like
up,
that,
bro.
actually.
Yeah, I like that.
Glows
I
the
like
fuck
that.
up.
They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the fucking time. That's why they gotta shave their
Nah,
hair.
bro. White guys with black girlfriends,
They grow
step,
a beard
they step their
because
dick
there's
up.
more cushion when they get slapped the fuck out of.
That's hilarious.
I think the black girlfriend effect. It might be a protective instinct, bro.
You think?
Protective.
Do you guys have you ever had black girlfriends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had white girls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. What's your favorite?
We love them all.
Yeah.
Oh
Just-
really?
When I had read comments about what was happening, it's just someone mentioned, why are black women always at the forefront of certain things? Why are we dragged into things we didn't be called to we didn't call anybody, and they're calling our names. So as the man began to berate black women and make comments about what it's like dating a black woman, the guys, what is it, Fuhad and is it James, began to laugh like they had seen and heard the funniest thing ever, of which many people are not happy about that and have made ample responses online expressing their disdain for their reaction and their disbelief, the fact that they're in shock. I'm not in shock, and I'll go into detail a little bit as to why I am not shocked. Allegedly, when you watch the whole podcast, the man even makes reference to other cultures and demographics. It's said that he even makes mention to the Nigerian community, and at no point did they really laugh or react in a joyful manner or gleefully when Nigerians were being dragged, as always, in the mud.
I'm Yoruba, actually.
But when it was black women, that's when we all started to see teeth shining. Everybody's teeth is out as if they're doing a Colgate commercial, because oh, it's another opportunity to laugh and berate black women. The reason why people are reacting to this is because of the fact that it's okay, once again, black women are minding their business, doing their thing, and someone thinks it's fit to come and bring us to a space that we didn't ask to be brought to. From what I saw when I, saw the video, there were no black women there in attendance. The issues were not about blackness, but it got brought us, and then rather than talking about, I don't know, targeting the men or things that pertain the men, they thought it fits to bring the women. Another issue that I believe, another thing I believe people have an issue with, and I have a strong issue with, is that there's so many negative stereotypes pertaining black women, and this unfortunately plays into these stereotypes, plays into this idea that being with a black woman is a problematic thing and something that should be done with caution. One has to remember that black women are not monoliths. I believe that is the word. Correct me if I'm wrong. We are a very fluid demographic in terms, you can even see that in regards to where we are in the world. We have black women in America, we have black women in Latin America, we have black women in Africa, we have black women in Europe. And for a lot of us, we have a lot of similarities in terms of our cultural experiences, but there's a lot of differences that can be evidenced based on our environment. So to paint us all with the same brush is not fair. I have a feeling that those comments were targeted at black women in the West. So black women like myself, women who are European, European in terms of where we were born and bred. Not to me, I'm an African. Hello, hi, or black women in the Americas. That, oh, if you date them, this is what will happen to your hairline. What is happening to the hairline? What is happening to the hairline? Why do we think it's okay to constantly come and kick black women when society is already trying to press somebody? I said earlier that I'm not shocked at this response. I was born and bred in the UK. I was born and bred in the UK. Those of you who have followed my channel for a while and watched some of my videos that are about culture, that they're more anthropological, you might know that I am of Nigerian and Ghanaian descent. I'm predominantly Yoruba. My Ghanaian side, we are from a tribe called Ga. We are Gas, or to get more detail, we are Krobos, blah, blah, blah. Some airways in there, but yeah. So I grew up in this country, was born in this country. The first time I went to the motherland, I was 25 years old. I'm not 25. That was many moons ago, LOL. And that was when I had my first-hand experience, in Africa as an African. But I've had experiences because, growing up in an African home, but it was a bit westernized because we live in England. And throughout my childhood, throughout my teenage years, and even my adulthood before I got married, and I still feel like this to this day, but when you're married, you don't think about these things too tough. If you think about it, it's because you want your friends to be happily married and you hear and see what your single friends are going through. I have said this to so many people that know me. I felt, and I still feel like there are too many black British men, right, that have a dislike for black British women. And they will begin to reel off a number of things as to why they don't like these women. They have attitude, they're loud, they're dominant, they are not flexible, they're not this, they're not that, which is hilarious because a lot of the things that they have described can be seen in other demographics of women. They would now say, oh yeah, but we see it more within the black female demographic, which I believe is a lie. And some of these ideas about black women that these men have are due to stereotypes that have been perpetuated through the use of various media channels, and people begin to believe these lies. A lot of these black British men, this is my opinion, there is a disdain for blackness. There is a battle in terms of identity. I'm not saying we don't have black British women don't have the same thing, but we love to hone in on the fact that all black British women have an identity crisis. Why can't we have the same oomph and the same comments when it comes to black British men?
That's such a bold statement to say.
I wish I was black.
I wish I was black. Like, yes.
What's going on in your life?
What? Do you know what I mean?
You're white, fam.
You're white.
You're winning. You've won the game.
You're out here. You're just out here white, just with all the rights to you. And you want to be black. I'm not saying there's obviously nothing wrong with being black. I love being black, but like the fact that you.
What are you seeing that you're not experiencing? Like, what are you seeing?
Exactly.
What's so greener over here? Like, what is greener that you're thinking I'm missing out?
It blew my mind.
Because I find it very difficult to understand how you can despise and dislike and get so angry at the concept of dating or loving and marrying the female equivalent of yourself. So for the black British man, it is the black British woman. What has happened there? You know, someone, I think that is if James said that years ago he was bullied by a black woman and that has left an imprint. But you're an adult now. You're an adult now. No one is even forcing you to like them. But when we want to dwell on things and use that to justify our reason to hate somebody, that is problematic. That is not right. You know, that is not right. Very common within our demographic. Everybody wants to be saying that they're religious, they believe in God, they believe in Allah, they believe in Buddha, they believe in Shango, they believe in somebody. But you can see from the morals, it doesn't believe that that many of us believe in a higher power greater than us because of the way we treat one another. It's disgusting, it's disturbing, and it really needs to stop. Several of these men, they do not like black British women for a number of reasons that they will now try to bring facts and whatever. And if you ask them, when those of them that decide to date other demographics of women, of which I don't have a problem with, but they seem to have a problem with, because some of them, when you see them in the public with a woman that is not a black woman, they start to look nervous and irritable and don't want to make eye contact with you. I recall many years ago, my friend, I was in uni and we were looking. My friends and I at the time, we moved to an area, and we got lost. And then we saw a couple, black guy, white lady. We just went up to them. I said, "Oh, sorry, we are new here. Do you know how to get to this area?" And the lady, white lady, you know, she responded, gave us a direction. Black man didn't say anything. I did not think anything of it until my friend, you know, pulled it up and said, "Did you not see that man's body language? How he was very standoffish, didn't want to engage with us or anything." We were 3 black women, by the way. And I didn't think anything of it until it was brought to my attention. Why was he like that? Why do some of them look nervous that they've stolen something, right? You know, they say that, you know, or they don't like, they're with this demographic of people because they don't like black women. But some of you are in the DMs of black women asking you to cook soup for them, asking you to make rice and peas and jollof rice. Even some of you have gone as far. I know, you know, situations like this whereby some of these men, they will now go for other demographics, non-black women, but will be in the DMs of black women trying to get with them. But I thought you said you don't like the culture. I thought you said those black women are problematic, but they're not problematic enough for you to want to come and be with them. What is it? People are shocked. My American brethren, do not be shocked. I said it, you know, I've left a few comments online about this whole situation, and I've said, you know, in a couple of them how I feel like black American men, they get a real like whipping. They get a real, people really come for them and say, "Oh, they're this, they're that." I am very aware that there's colorism. There's some within that demographic, that group, that have a disdain and a hatred towards black women. But I feel and not even I feel, even when you just do some analysis, there is a plethora of American black men that will opt for a black woman anytime, in a heartbeat, in comparison to black British men. Before I, you know, started courting my husband, I remember I have a friend of mine. Darling, if you're watching this, this friend of mine, I love you so much for giving me this advice. And this piece of advice, I give it to the girls that are still single. Ladies, when it comes to this whole getting into a relationship, as much as a man chooses a woman, you as a woman have the right to decide who is worth entertaining, who is worth being in your space. And bear that in mind. And the piece of advice my friend gave to me is to go to where you are celebrated. Nobody wants to be in a relationship where they feel they're not celebrated, they feel unworthy, they feel like a burden, right? When my friend said that to me, that's when I said, you know what, let me be open. My husband, before I, really considered him, he was an amazing guy, but there were so many things I was thinking of. And now I'm happy I took that advice. I'm happy I had counseling. I'm happy I had prayer. My husband and I would pray about our relationship before getting married, etc. I'm happy I spent those years reading books, going to seminars to find out, to learn more about men, to understand what is it I wanted in a man. And I'm happy that I opened my heart to go for someone that celebrated me and I celebrated them. Because now I honestly believe, and I know this, not in a braggy way, I thank God that I am being loved for every fiber of my being. Every fiber of me is being loved by this African man that I've married. I couldn't say I would get that from the British. From when we were in secondary school, they would call women like myself that looked like me, dark skin, big hair, big nose, big lips. There's nothing wrong with having a big nose and big lips. Women that look African, you know, African. They will always do to make comments, that person is ugly, that one is butters, that one is this, that one is that. And you just think, okay, or maybe it's just a phrase. You get into proper teenage years, you get into young adult. I mean, I'm still a young adult, too. I'm in my 30s, but I still I feel like I'm young, lol. And you still are hearing this nonsense about women that look like you. I don't even know. Why would you want to stay in an environment and entertain a group of people that constantly remind you that you are not it? Let me tell you who is in it. Init boys ain't it. And that's on purr. Let me quote my Black American peers, and that's on purr. Yes, Init boys ain't it. They're the ones constantly telling us, "Oh, you're so dark, you're so butters, you're so this, you're so that." The aggression, the disdain, the hatred that some of them have shown over the years to their equivalent being black British women, they would never show that level of energy to other demographics of women. And if they do, it's not straight away. Another thing is, I tell the friends, if you're a Christian woman, this is how I see it now. We have mad men everywhere, around the world. Around the world, we do, unfortunately. We're living in the last days, innit? But one thing I've also observed with these black British men, if you're trying to do this thing where you're trying to be, give your life to Jesus and abstain from sexual immorality, and you don't want to be committing fornication, a lot of them, for some reason, they don't respect that. They want to try before they buy. Have mercy. They're in the habit of putting people in a situationship. They are the masterminds. Too many of them have mastermind that thing so well, and then you, the woman, like a fool, you will enter that place and you become trapped in a situationship with one of those. Why do that to yourself? Go to where you are celebrated. I know a lot of the girls are so gung-ho, like, oh my days, I have to marry a black man. That's why I say to you, okay, if you are so gung-ho you want to marry a black man, is British only, is the British boys the only ones that are there? No. You get on a plane, how far is London to New York? Isn't that 7 hours? Jamaica to London, 9 hours. Nigeria to London, 6 hours. Come on. Don't put yourself in a box. Go to where you're celebrated. Stop letting these individuals make you feel that you're not worthy. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. There's so many lies that are said about black women, and unfortunately, the devil sometimes uses the equivalent of a black British woman, the black British man, to perpetrate and to continue to spew this nonsense that is not godly, that is so uncouth, that is so diabolical, that has become normalized. You know, another thing is, ladies, there's so much I feel like, you know, I'm just speaking, and these are the type of videos I would love to make, but I know it can be quite hard hitting. But I've had these views for years, just through observation of my life, some of my friends' lives. Just you just look at things and be like, what is the common denominator? An Init boy. We have to be very careful in the type of man we are entertaining, ladies. Stop entertaining men that don't like you, that don't celebrate you, that have a problem with you being you. Women, of course, there's elements of ourselves we need to change, we need to improve. You will now come online, ladies, complaining about a man. Why did you entertain a man that doesn't like you? Another thing is, before I go, please, 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 just take this other piece of advice. When you see a man, ladies, that is over the age, hello, of 27. I want to say 25. I want to, because men scientifically apparently they mature later than women. So let's say 27. A man is 27 years old, has a job, has a career, allegedly has direction, right? Right. He's a single man over the age of 27 years old, and he has a podcast microphone. Hey, auntie, if you like what is good for yourself, I beg, I please, sister girl, child, homo, take your leg and go to the other direction. Do not entertain that type of man. I'm noticing that trend. People are saying it for banter, but it's not even becoming like a banter thing. It seems like it's an actuality. Men of a certain age, late 20s, in a lot of them are in the 30s actually, so be very careful, ladies. With a podcast, those men are so problematic. They were always giving relationship advice. None of them are in healthy relationships. If you want to listen to a man that is holding a podcast, ensure that man is happily married. And I feel like I want to do a video on people you should listen to pertaining relationships on this online. Some of the people that I listen to that, have been valuable to my life and on the journey of singleness to marriage. Avoid these single men that are so opinionated, especially about women. Why are we talking about women so much? Some of these men, Christmas is coming, ladies. Some of these men, we need to buy them, wigs and handbags. Not boxers, not perfume, wigs, lace wigs, and a handbag, maybe some nail polish, maybe a dress so they can feel like they fit in. Okay? I don't think people have sound me sound so like, but this is just my thoughts. These are just where I feel right now. And I said to my husband, I said, I just feel like I want to talk about this topic at hand because he knows, and many of my peers, how I feel about black British men and how too many of them see black women. It's not all of them, but too many. Too many. You love the girl to suffer head before you want to marry her. You love the girl to have to prove herself, but the bar is so low for other demographics of women. My dears, just remember, go to where you are celebrated. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good day. Don't forget to subscribe. Ray.